What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube. And today I've got another edition of The Drive-In, where I watch recently released movies and tell you guys whether they're worth watching, worth waiting for, or worth skipping altogether. Today I watched one that I just saw the first trailer for about 7 to 10 days ago. It didn't look amazing, but did look like cheesy fun. My friend was going out for her birthday to do a marathon of like 5 movies in one day, and I figured, haven't seen this friend in a while, want to catch up. It'll be nice to go down the street and catch this movie with my friend. Shout out to Maddie Deering, awesome friend, on her birthday. So went to see the movie Afraid, with the capital letters AI in the middle. Essentially a horror story about the dangers of AI taking over, as to be expected. This film basically, again, no spoilers, just came out, I think, in the last week or so. Basically, the plot of this movie follows, how do I even explain this? A family that works for a marketing team gets selected to host this AI bot in their house that's like a supercharged version of Alexa or Siri that can do a bunch of things and connect to the things in the house and be watching and listening at all times. And obviously this shows a lot of benefits and seems too good to be true, and then eventually is too good to be true, because AI, when it has too much control, is a big-time negative. That is where the horror of this horror story comes in. This movie was written and directed by Chris Weitz, I think it's Chris Weitz, who has a very eclectic and interesting set of credits. They directed a Twilight movie, the Twilight Saga movie, I think the last one in the series. They wrote I think Star Wars Rogue One, or one of the writers on the Star Wars movie. Their biggest full credit claim to fame is About a Boy in the late 90s. They've got an uncredited directing credit on American Pie in 1999, so a very wide chasm of things from writer-director Chris Weitz. This movie was starring John Cho as Curtis, Catherine Watterson as Meredith, and Havana Rose Liu as Melody, and the voice of AI, who did all the voice acting for this. Aya is the character's name. AIA is the character's name. Aya is the AI. Go figure. And all in all, again, when you see the trailer, you kind of know what you're getting into with this. You're going to get some jump scares. You're going to get a few tense moments. You're going to get some cheesiness. You're going to get some over-the-top acting. You're going to get some PSAs. And you get all those things in this movie. First things first, the runtime is only like 1 hour and 22 minutes with credits, so a very short movie and a very easy ride. This follows the manuscript of a lot of other AI kind of movies and TV episodes. But it's a fun time getting there. Yes, there are some dumb things. Yes, there are some cheesy things. But all in all, it's an easy, quick watch, and you're going to have a good time with certain moments. Number one, I wrote down for the positives, the acting overall. I think the acting is solid. There are 3 kids in this movie. Usually child actors can be tough to watch. These child actors were solid, and were all kind of given individuality in their characters. A lot of times when there are kids in these movies, they're just there to be easy targets for the things like the dolls or the AI. Anytime there's movies with AI or dolls, they attach to the kids because kids are gullible and easy to make like you. And usually the kids have no discernible characteristics besides just being easy, gullible fodder for the AI. In this movie, all 3 kids at least have individual characteristics and parts of their life that the AI can weave themselves into in distinctive traits, which I enjoyed. And also, John Cho obviously is always good. Catherine Watterson I haven't seen in a lot of things. She was very good. I thought all in all the acting in this movie was solid, and they each, again, the adults as well as the kids, all had individual story arcs or little parts of their personality that stood out as the story was being told. So the story wasn't just one-dimensional, one character with a bunch of background characters. Every character at least had something in their personal story to connect to, so I like that. Dialogue overall. Dialogue was not bad for a movie of this day and age about AI, centered around a lot of kids. It's going to come across a little more juvenile. It's going to feel a bit like Truth or Dare, a bit like Wish Upon. I kind of like movies like that. A little bit like Smile, though Smile is a bit more adult compared to the other two. There's a lot of those kind of Goosebumps style horror. They get a bad rap because they can be cheesy, but I also kind of enjoy them because they're fun. This movie kind of falls in there. And yeah, there are some moments that are cheesy. There are some moments that you kind of cringe and go, oh, we didn't really need that. But I think for the most part, this movie, the dialogue feels current. It feels fairly smooth. The scenes feel fairly well transitioned. And I think everything kind of feels current in a way that's not smacking you in the face with trying to feel current. Like something like Bodies, 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 I feel like smacks you in the face with the fact that, oh, we're being a Gen Z horror movie, and that's the whole gimmick of it. And it feels too gimmicky and too cheesy. This, for me, for the most part, the dialogue felt like it was current without force feeding you and trying to tell you that it was being current. I enjoyed that. Another thing I have written down as a positive is current nature. I feel like this movie does a nice job encapsulating what these kids' lives are like. There's one kid that wants to just play Minecraft all day long. There's another kid who's got social embarrassment at school because there's things about nudity on Snapchat and putting too much of their body out there. There's uses of AI in current society we have not seen in other shows and movies, and I like that. There's another kid that's got social anxiety because going to school is tough because they're used to having too much screen time and being in front of the computer or the iPad too much. That is a very current thing. I think the usage of AI in this movie does a nice job highlighting the dangers of AI in personalities as well as the grander scheme of things, and it puts the AI in realistic places for what the kids do these days. I feel like Old Man Yells at Cloud by saying that phrase in that way, but I think the AI and the way the kids use the screens in this movie is very realistic, and I think their situations are realistic, and I like that. I wrote down best movie AI story so far. So I've seen AI done better. Obviously, Disney did it with like Safe House in the 90s. There's an episode of I think it's called Cursed with the Curious. It's like a Goosebumps style horror anthology on Netflix. They did it better. I think even in the past, things like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark did it better with like cameras and computer bots and things like that. I think there's an episode of Tales from the Dark Side that does it better with like sexuality via computers. So it's been done better, especially in TV horror anthologies. But in terms of modern day movies, I think this is the best of the modern day AI movies that I've seen as far as where the story goes. It's point A to point B. It's basic. You know what it's going to be immediately. But I think this succeeds more in being less cheesy and more in being more current and feeling more real and easier to watch than things like Megan Mithrigan and the Child's Play remake, that I feel like try and be more heavy-handed and come across more cheesy to me. So I enjoyed this a little more than those, personally. Going into the negatives, cheese factor is at an all-time high. Again, you know what you're going to get. There's going to be some stuff that tries to be scary that comes across cheesy. You're going to get a lot of that stuff. The other big negative in this is it's like CGI faces. There are some face images that you see. There are some CGI things. There are some transitions on the TV and in the music that, yeah, they're meant to be a little cheesy because they're meant to be AI, but they're a little ham-fisted, and you kind of groan when you see them. And there's a few moments toward the end of the movie, and even in a concurrent credit sequence that make you just go, oh, why'd they have to put that in? That kind of, not only does it go in an obvious way, but it really is over-the-top cheese. So some of these moments are a little ridiculous. That being said, you know what you're getting into with Afraid, with the AI in the middle of the word afraid. You know what it's going to be. But I think as a PSA, as a statement about current society and encapsulating how kids use AI and what they go through and the positives and negatives to having things like Siri and Alexa, are well documented in this movie, and for the most part, it's not a ton of cheese until about the end. So I think this movie's got more good than bad to offer, and I think it encapsulates modern kids and modern AI and technology better than a lot of its contemporaries did in the last couple of years. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. It's a basic fun ride. It runs an hour and 20 minutes. I would say it's worth seeing. And honestly, it does kind of turn your eyes to, oh, I use YouTube way too much, says the guy recording a review of a movie on YouTube. Please watch this video. But yeah, I think that this does open your eyes to AI a little bit, and it does give you some good moments of tenseness and jump scares, and gives you some good world building for what the world is like in modern times. 5 out of 10 for me. Certainly not a bad watch. Easy to watch. I would recommend it. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe these movie deep dives. And if you want to see more horror coming up, we're coming into October. Tis the season. We're going to have a lot of horror things in theaters. So if there's something in particular you guys want me to cover, I'll be covering it. Tell me in the comments below. Stay scared, and I will see you guys soon.